When we talk about natural wine, the conversation often drifts toward cloudy, orange bottles in hip city bars. But the deeper story is not urban at all. It begins in the countryside with farmers who never gave up older ways of making wine, even as industrial agriculture swept across the globe. Think of post-war Europe. The Second World War had ended, but a new war was underway, a war for yield, efficiency, and control. Chemical companies pushed sulfur, pesticides, and synthetic fertilizers as the solution to feeding nations. Governments subsidized mechanization, monoculture, and scale. Vineyards were no exception. Grapes became inputs for an industrial system, and wine turned into a standardized, shelf-stable commodity. But in the cracks of this system, resistance survived. Some small-scale winemakers, especially in rural France, Italy, Georgia, and Slovenia, kept working as their grandparents had, without chemicals, without commercial yeast, without filtration. They weren't marketing themselves as rebels. They were surviving, quietly refusing to surrender their vines to chemical dependency. This quiet survival has echoes in anarchist traditions. Anarchism, at its heart, resists centralized power and imposed systems. In the vineyard, that resistance looks like polyculture instead of monoculture. It looks like trusting the yeast floating in the air rather than buying a lab packet. It looks like rejecting the logic that every bottle must taste exactly the same. Natural wine says, stability is not the highest value. Uniformity is not progress. Instead, it embraces imperfection, variation, and change, values that are as much political as they are agricultural. If we zoom out, we see how this connects to broader movements. In 19th and 20th century Europe, anarchist farmers resisted enclosure and mechanization, arguing for local knowledge and communal control. Today's natural winemakers carry that spirit, even if they don't wave black flags. Their refusal of chemicals and certification systems is a refusal of bureaucracy and dependence. Their survival is not about nostalgia, it is about autonomy. And yet, here's the paradox. What began as rural resistance has been absorbed into global urban culture. The natural wine bar in Brooklyn or Tokyo may charge $18 a glass for what was once a peasant's drink. The same product that resists industrial commodification now circulates in high capital networks of scarcity and hype. That doesn't erase its anarchist roots, but it complicates them. So, when you lift a glass of cloudy, unfiltered natural wine, you are not just tasting grapes. You are tasting a kind of protest, a quiet defiance against the chemical industrial order. You are drinking history that refused to disappear. And you are also, whether you realize it or not, participating in the tension between rural survival and urban luxury. Natural wine, at its best, reminds us that agriculture can be more than yield and profit. It can be resistance. It can be anarchist in spirit, decentralized, communal, alive with uncertainty, and stubbornly human.